Every day you have to make a decision about everything. You make a good decision or a bad one. I'm going to be on stage. Do I want to look like I have no confidence? I'm afraid.
Imagine London, 1978. The smoke is thick, the amps are howling, and the walls of the Marquee Club shake like they're about to collapse. Amid that chaos stands a woman with eyes sharper than a blade, Chrissie Hynde. A woman who would survive what many could not. She had walked beside rock's wildest men, loved them, fought them, and outlived them. Decades later, she'd finally tell the truth about the ones who defined her story, and nearly destroyed it. These are the 6 men Chrissie Hynde would never forget: the womanizers, the wild hearts, and the ghosts of the 1970s. Before we dive into this untamed journey through love, chaos, and music history, take a second to hit that subscribe button. It helps keep stories like these alive here on Rock Fame Diaries. Alright, let's begin. Number 1. The storm called Ray Davies. Long before fame crowned her as the face of the Pretenders, Chrissie fell for a man who was already a legend, Ray Davies of the Kinks. Their love wasn't soft, it was a collision of fire and fury. London, mid-70s, punk was rising, egos were clashing, and Ray was the poet who could slice hearts with lyrics alone. When Chrissie met him, she saw a genius, but also a storm. He was charming one minute, cruel the next, brilliant, unpredictable, and dangerously magnetic. They wrote songs together, fought louder than guitars, and loved like every night might be their last. He wanted her near, but never equal. Her independence made him proud and jealous. Their chemistry created both music and destruction. There were mornings filled with laughter and cigarettes, and nights filled with shouting that could drown out an encore. Their daughter became the only calm between the tempests. But Ray's infidelity cut deep. His jealousy, his need for control, it broke something sacred. When their love finally collapsed, Chrissie realized she hadn't just loved a man. She'd survived a storm. And it changed the way she'd love forever. Number 2. Mick Jagger, the king of illusion. If Ray was chaos, Mick Jagger was illusion. By the late 70s, Chrissie often found herself around the Rolling Stones' orbit, and Mick was impossible to miss. The swagger, the smirk, the way he turned every conversation into a performance. To most women, he was irresistible. To Chrissie, he was transparent. A man who'd learned to wear his confidence like a costume. He didn't seduce for love, he seduced to feed the myth. When the cameras shut off and the stage lights faded, Mick looked lost, like a god who no longer believed in his own power. Chrissie once said she saw the loneliness in his grin, the hollowness fame carved into his soul. He was the emperor of temptation, but also the most fragile of them all. From him, Chrissie learned the cruelest truth about fame. It gives you everything, and takes away who you are. Number 3. Lemmy Kilmister, the honest womanizer. Then came Lemmy from Motorhead, the thunder behind the madness. But unlike the others, Lemmy didn't lie about who he was. He loved women, whiskey, and chaos, but he did it with a strange kind of honor. Chrissie met him in her early London days. They were drinking buddies, partners in sarcasm, and survivors of the same machine. He'd sit across from her at some smoky bar, grin through the haze, and say things too true to be comfortable. Lemmy didn't pretend. He never promised love he couldn't give. He treated women with respect, even when his lifestyle made love impossible. He was brutally honest, and that honesty sometimes hurt more than betrayal. Chrissie admired him, not as a lover, but as a mirror. He showed her that truth, even when ugly, was better than the prettiest lie. Lemmy burned fast and loud, but his laughter echoed long after the whiskey ran dry. Number 4. Iggy Pop, the beautiful madness. If Lemmy was thunder, Iggy Pop was lightning, dangerous, wild, and alive. Chrissie saw him perform in the early 70s, shirtless, bleeding, tearing at the mic like a man trying to fight his own demons. He was chaos personified, and yet, there was something poetic in his madness. Off stage, Iggy was unpredictable. One moment he was gentle and philosophical. The next, he was vanishing into nights of drugs and self-destruction. Chrissie admired his courage, but pitied his addiction to danger. He wasn't cruel, he was consumed. He lived like every second was borrowed time, like he wanted to die just to prove he was alive. In him, Chrissie saw both beauty and tragedy, art and destruction fused into one man. Number 5. Johnny Thunders, the doomed romantic. When Chrissie drifted to New York, she crossed paths with Johnny Thunders of the New York Dolls. If the London scene was wild, New York was its darker twin, neon lights hiding broken dreams. Johnny was beautiful in the way only doomed men are. His cheekbones sharp, his voice cracked with pain, and his guitar cried louder than words. Every woman thought she could save him. None could. Chrissie walked those late-night streets with him, hearing him laugh one moment and fall silent the next, lost in melodies only he could hear. He wasn't evil, just haunted. Addiction claimed him slowly, until only ghosts remained around him. When he died in 1991, it wasn't shocking. It felt inevitable, the final note of a song that had been ending for years. To Chrissie, Johnny Thunders was the last romantic of rock's dark age. A man who mistook pain for passion, and burned himself out trying to feel real. Number 6. Sid Vicious, the child of chaos. And then there was Sid Vicious, punk's most tragic symbol. When Chrissie met him, he wasn't yet the legend or the villain, just a shy, lost kid chasing rebellion. He wore his leather-like armor, but his eyes gave him away. The world wanted a monster, so he became one. Drugs, violence, and the toxic love affair with Nancy Spungen pulled him under fast. Chrissie watched from the sidelines, heartbroken. She saw the bruises, the paranoia, the way fame devoured them both. Sid didn't destroy women out of cruelty. He destroyed everything, including himself. He was a boy trying to survive a myth too big for him. When he died in 1979, Chrissie wasn't shocked, just silent. It was the sound of punk's innocence dying with him. Number 7. Surviving the Gods. By the end of the 70s, Chrissie had seen it all: the vanity, the drugs, the heartbreak, and the hollow victories. The men she had loved or witnessed burning out weren't villains. They were victims of the same machine, a culture that celebrated recklessness and punished honesty. She survived not by being perfect, but by refusing to lose herself. Her leather jacket became her armor, her guitar, her weapon. And her voice, sharp and fearless, became the anthem of every woman who'd ever been underestimated. Years later, Chrissie Hynde still stands on stage, eyes fierce, guitar slung low. The crowd roars, but in her mind, she still hears the ghosts. Iggy, Mick, Ray, Lemmy, Sid, Johnny. Each one left a scar, and a song. But here's the difference: she outlived them. She turned their chaos into her strength, their betrayal into her melody. She no longer hates them, she pities them. They were prisoners of their own fame. She, the survivor who learned how to walk through the fire and keep her soul intact. And when the lights dim and the final chord fades, one truth remains. Chrissie Hynde didn't just endure rock's most dangerous decade, she conquered it. Thanks for watching this story of survival, chaos, and truth. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the untold lives behind the legends, hit like, share this video with fellow rock fans, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories that shaped rock history, only here on Rock Fame Diaries.